Good afternoon, everyone. Ayana here, the Conflict Guru 868, and welcome back to our show this week. This is the second show in season two, and we are ready and ready to go. So this afternoon we have with us Nikisha Maraj. She'll be my guest this afternoon. Nikisha is a young lady who describes herself as humble and friendly. She is the owner and managing director of Mirage Corporate Services Limited, and she describes her company as a company whose fundamental purpose is to transform the entrepreneur's idea from an idea into reality. So I'm going to have Nikisha join us and let us explain a bit more on what Mirage Corporate Services is about, and let's just have a discussion. Hi, Nikisha. How are
Hello,
you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine, thanks. So I was just telling our viewers that you describe yourself as humble and friendly. I threw in young lady. Um, so tell us a bit about Mirage Corporate Services Limited.
Well, I decided to actually start this venture because of my experience in banking, particularly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would have been there for a couple of years, and I saw that a lot of clients who I interacted with were within the scope and space of entrepreneurship. And
Okay.
a lot of them would have, fantastic ideas and probably started their business. However, there was a gap between that
Mm-hmm.
somewhat limited how far and how much they would thrive in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And after coming out of the corporate space, I actually started to do a bit more research on
Uh-huh.
ways that, to bridge the gap, trying to look to decipher exactly what the gap is. And I realized that it had a lot to do with a lack of understanding in terms of what entrepreneurship really means,
Mm-hmm.
if it's just a status quo or if it also is a mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I decided, I would take the leap of faith and actually form my company. But it didn't happen right away.
Mm-hmm.
I spent some time researching, deliberating if I shouldn't, all the mindset blocks that you would have to tell yourself that you can't or
Uh-huh.
capable of. And then once I was able to overcome all those things, I just went in full speed. And
Mm-hmm.
fortunately, I had a lot of clients who always, because of the advice that I would have given them within the corporate space, they would always encourage me and be like, Miss Margaret, it's such your own business. You're real good at this thing. Things that you shared, ideas that you gave, suggestions that were made. I actually implemented it and it made this thing simpler. And now
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to enjoy what it means to be an entrepreneur.
Happening. Right. And that's excellent. And you had persons actually telling you got into it because they're seeing the value of your advice. And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, did your studies and your research and the gaps and stuff like that years ago. I'm not gonna say how many to age myself. My one of my first postgraduate thesis was on entrepreneurship and the culture in the Caribbean and whether or not the Caribbean culture precluded entrepreneurship. And one of the things you realize at that time, and still now, it's a word that yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an
Mhm.
entrepreneur. What do you do? And then that's the end of the conversation. So
Yeah.
yes, it's a word that in someone's mind it explains so much, but can they fully understand and explain
Yeah.
what being an entrepreneur is, what entrepreneur really entails? So
Mhm.
what it is you are doing is really important because you might have an idea, but how do I make this reality?
Yes.
Right, and that is where an issue lies with a lot of persons, because I myself I actually do a training session where turning business ideas into reality. I call it my tier program. I don't know why, but that was the name of it. And it's something I'm actually thinking about talking to you more about when we finish the show.
Yeah.
But I love that aspect of actually helping persons get to that point of, hey, It's no longer an idea. I'm going to take it out of my mind. I'm going to make it a reality. And we walk in, and I say we because both of us, you are also walking the entrepreneurial walk, understand what goes into that. I mean, if
Yes.
you explain your experience in banking, will help you with that financial aspect of it. So you actually explain what inspired you, because that's one of the questions I like to ask my guests. What inspired you to get into it? And you explain that, and I understand. I mean, you're very soft spoken and stuff, but you still see the passion. And I like that, right? I like that. You still see it. So, like you're passionate of what you do. So, are you doing this full time, or do you also have a 9 to 5?
Oh, yes, I have a 9 to 5, and
Wow.
I do this as well. I'm also a
Hmm.
parent to two, so a full plate.
A full plate.
Yes,
Right. So two girls, boys, girl and boy.
two girls, two
Two
girls.
girls.
Yes,
How
so
you
they're
making out?
well. Thankfully, they are
Uh,
my number one cheerleaders, and
nice.
I mean, just the simplest thing of like, mommy, you could do this, you could really.
Hmm.
I mean, that for me within itself is all the support that I
Hmm.
really needed. And to see them have so much confidence in me that, yes, you can really do this, mommy. And
Hmm.
then, I actually dipped my feet into the water and I
Hmm.
realized, but hey, I can really do this.
Yeah.
You just learn to organize things
Uh-huh.
and ensure that you must have some order and some discipline. I mean,
Hmm.
you would like things to flow really
Sure.
smoothly, but
Uh-huh.
that is in the fantasy world, and we're not living in fantasy land. So,
Yes.
so you have to be prepared to know that it won't always go according to plan,
Hmm.
but you keep the vision, the organization, and the discipline at the forefront. And even though things might pop up, your
Hmm.
approach to how you deal with it, it must mature over
Hmm.
time. And that was
Wow.
one of the major things that, for me personally, I had
Hmm.
to deal with learning how to reset my mindset. So even
Wow.
though there would be things that would come up that would seem similar to things of
Hmm.
the past, I now have a totally different mindset toward how I would deal with it, how I would embrace it, how I would respond to it. And
Okay.
that was able to help me leverage my peace of mind. And in that peace of mind, I was able to strive, like all my ideas flowed, being able to develop my own system flowed, being
Hmm.
able to manage online school and all the different technology platforms. Right? And also being able to become confident within myself to know that yes, I am able to do this. And
Wow.
all of the resetting of the mindset had to do with my faith and still has to do with my faith in God. So in everything that I do, I would
Hmm.
always pray first,
Hmm.
set aside my own way of doing things,
Hmm.
and listening to what the Lord is ministering to me concerning, and then make my decisions. And I've
Okay.
been able to really see the fulfillment come in from utilizing that method towards things.
Wow. Now, ironically,
Mhm.
one of our viewers asked, what are Miss Mirage's mechanisms for overcoming her own personal obstacles to get over the fright of taking the leap of faith to entrepreneurship? And you explained just now your faith, you explained, resetting your mindset. And these are things that are so poignant when you're talking about actually getting into an entrepreneurial venture. Is there
Yes.
anything else you want to add to answer that question? What have you done, or what mechanism do you utilize to overcome that fear? Because there is fear in entrepreneurship, is there's risk, and with the risk comes fear. But how do you manage that?
Well, one of the things I learned early o'clock
Hmm.
is to separate the wheat from the thorn. Meaning, yeah, you must have a balance of people in your life.
Woo, preach.
That within itself is something that you have to be able to know that, okay, if this situation, if this person is not conducive to my vision or where I'm
Mm-hmm.
heading, then it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
make sense having them in that space, because you are also trying to leverage yourself, trying to have all these Frankenstein thoughts make sense to you, and then, then you entertaining somebody who's telling you, you sure you can really do that? You,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they say that feels saturated. Why are you even going there?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why are you going and leave your good bank work with a secure income to go and be unemployed? And
Mm-hmm.
all these different things. And I, like I said, I had to really cement myself in my faith. And that was how I was able to make decisions, knowing that these decisions are conducive to where I'm heading. And I
Mm-hmm.
shared with someone recently that it's only through time you would learn and build your momentum. And one thing that I learned for sure is to first know who I am. And in
Mm-hmm.
knowing who I am, I discovered my purpose. And when I discovered my purpose, I was able to understand my value. Because a
Okay.
lot of times people would preach that you need to know this and you need to
Mm.
know that. But if you don't understand it, how is it really of value to you as the individual? So
Okay.
you have to be able to understand yourself, what would make you and what would break you. And then you make decisions differently from what you would have made in the past. So even your decision making process needs
Mm-hmm.
to transition and mature over time and align. So for me, I had to ensure that I had precise vision and that my
Mm-hmm.
mindset was in alignment with my vision.
So, my gosh, you're preaching this afternoon, girl. You are killing it. Wow, love that. I speechless. You hit the nail on the head. I think I can hand the show over to you now. You have any questions for me? But honestly and seriously, it's what you're saying is so much. It makes so much sense, and it's something that is needed. And listening to you speak, I am thinking, okay, Nikisha, because someone comes to you, right? Um, I have this idea. I'm not sure how to go about doing it. Um, I don't know where I'm going and get it from, but it's
Mhm.
just this idea that bothering me. And what is the first thing you would tell them? They are not sure what the idea is. They just know it's there and they need to pull it out of them. Now, I know I do coaching, the coaching from that aspect of it, but you
Mhm.
are in consulting, and there's a difference between consulting and coaching.
Right.
Sometimes we blur the lines, but in this case, as a consultant, what would you do to try to get them to really pull that out of themselves?
Well, the most difficult questions that people can never really answer is,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want? You
Oh,
have, you have this idea, yes, but
yes.
what do you want?
Want.
What
True.
what do
Very
you
true.
want of this idea? Where do you want this idea to take you? Where do
Mm-hmm.
you want to take this idea?
Mm-hmm.
And it may sound old school because I know we are in a digital space and so on. But
Mm-hmm.
for me, pen and paper, as my grandfather always used to say, black and white, don't lie. Get
Mm-hmm.
something and start writing.
Right. Jen.
Yes.
Yes.
It may not make sense at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
just write it. And
True.
when you write it, you give yourself some space from it. And then there
Mm-hmm.
might be another time that you would go back to it, and then
Mm-hmm.
another thing comes and builds on that. And then
Okay.
you keep refining. So you know
Mm-hmm.
you align it, you
Mm-hmm.
refine it, you
Mm-hmm.
define, right?
Okay.
And that is yours. That is your significance, your
Mm-hmm.
uniqueness, and
Mm-hmm.
your way of putting things through. And like I like to say that, entrepreneurship is not one size fits all, because we are different human beings with
Mm-hmm.
different ways of thinking things through and
Mm-hmm.
processing things, but not because I would think something left and you would think it right,
Right, right.
means that it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be some sort of midpoint meet where you could say, okay, this is what I want to do. Give
Mm-hmm.
me the guidance that I need to get
Right.
it done. And that
Yeah.
is where I would come in and give the guidance, because at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, entrepreneurs have to be able to manage. They have to be
Right.
able to manage themselves,
Mm-hmm.
manage their workflow, and manage their money.
Yeah, it's
Mo-
true.
Money is a very sore
Mm-hmm.
point for
Mm-hmm.
engineers, because
Mm-hmm.
we have this culture of counting our eggs before it hatch, right? And then the spending syndrome,
Mm.
and you know what happens from there.
Yeah. Now we have another question for you from one of our viewers. What they
Mhm.
would like to know, I think, is a two-part question. What is your purpose? And how does the entrepreneur track you have aligned yourself on? Because even though you're assistant entrepreneurs, you're also an entrepreneur. How
Right.
does that align to your purpose? So, what is your purpose, and how your entrepreneurial journey aligns with your purpose?
Okay. For me, my purpose is, and this is just my personal thing, I
Mm-hmm.
like helping people. I like seeing people thrive. I like seeing people become their best selves, right?
Right.
And in becoming your best self is a combination of things. It is from a mindset perspective, and also from, a financial perspective. Now,
Right.
money is not happiness, and money could never buy happiness.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were not called to live in poverty, right? And my thing is, I like to encourage people to just level up and elevate. What outer life do you really want?
Mm-hmm.
And I will be there to guide you,
Right.
to support you,
Mm-hmm.
to give you the encouragement, to
Mm-hmm.
let you know that if you're trying something in a business space and it's working well for you, then the
Mm-hmm.
next step would be for you to register your
Right.
business,
Right.
so that you make things more legitimate,
Right.
and that would also streamline your finances and your financial positioning.
Okay.
When you register your business, you register for the relevant taxes that apply based on the business structure, and then
Mm-hmm.
you open a business bank account, right? So you put yourself within that space where you're able to manage things, and there's not a to-ing and fro-ing and a jumping here, there, and everywhere. And for me, yes, this is purpose for me.
Right.
I really enjoy
Helping.
seeing people prosper. And
Okay.
from a just to see them prosper, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not doing it looking forward for any recognition, but it's a mere fact that you help somebody.
Yeah. I love that. And taking us back to the putting it down on pen and paper, I would say you have to believe it before you see it.
Yeah.
And one of the important things in helping us believe is writing it out. Once you write it out, it's there. It's now, tangible. And then from there, you can start acting on it. And you're right with that and help us to build on it. As regards to your purpose, aligning what I get from you as well as an intrinsic nature from you in helping and giving back. And that is really good. And that's great for an entrepreneurship. Nothing is wrong, like you said, to want money to make money from your venture. But I think when you have that balance of, yes, I want to make money, but also I want to help,
Mhm.
it's not all about focusing on the money, but what you gain from it. And helping persons is actually helpful to ourselves when we help, right? We learn things about ourselves, we learn things about others. right? And that giving back is what is so important. And I admire that about you because I am getting that from you. Um, so you're killing it. Seriously. You actually have me a little speeches this afternoon. Seriously, Nikisha. Right? Um, Now I know you mentioned money.
Mhm.
And would it be safe to say that that is one of the conflicts or challenges you have noticed that entrepreneurs are facing right now when trying to get into business?
Of course, money is the major
Mm-hmm.
setback because most of the times you would hear them say that, I really want to do this thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't have the money to do it.
Right.
If they are given the guidance,
Mm-hmm.
they can start out of pocket and baby steps.
Right.
And a lot of times you would find that people, we live in this kind of like microwave society where you just want things at the flick of a finger. You know, you don't want to go through the process. You don't want to wait it out and take it one step at a time. If
Mm-hmm.
they learn how to budget,
Mm-hmm.
budgeting is a very, very key component to entrepreneurship. You have to,
Right.
and first, you need to know
Mm-hmm.
what it's going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
When you know what it's going to cost and what you need, then
Mm-hmm.
you're able to prioritize your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing with that is when you get your first, let's just say you have a first client and you're not registered as yet,
Mm-hmm.
client pays you rather than saying, okay, I make a piece of money. So, I have some change to spend here. Go and get a new outfit, go to the movies, buy some ice cream, along those lines. You need
Mm-hmm.
you need to reinvest it.
Yes.
Right? So the next step is if you realize that, okay, I'm not registered, but I have people that want this service. And
Mm-hmm.
when I look at it, there is a demand for it. And then my first client refer a second client, the second client refer a third client.
Enough.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, you have something going here. The
Mm-hmm.
most logical step after that, before you go and open up anything on social media, is to register
Register.
the business because you don't want to build this whole clientele on
Mm-hmm.
a name that you just throw out there. And then when
Mm-hmm.
you go to register, it's because you can't register this.
Somebody have the name already.
Exactly.
All
And
right.
then all your social media handles is in this name. You
True.
probably can do some marketing and
Right.
ads and so forth in this name. And then
Mm-hmm.
you feel as though your whole world just come crumbling down. So in spending the money, you need to know where to spend it and what is priority. And you spend in priority sequence,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that for the first probably 3 to 6 months is whatever you make is to reinvest to take you to the next level, to take you to the next step. And what some entrepreneurs don't know as well, when you go to open an account with the bank, you need
Mm-hmm.
to have some sort of money, be it $100, $500, to open the account.
Count. Yes. True.
Right? And based on the bank, and some what I've realized also is even based on the branches, they
Mm-hmm.
will have stipulations in place that will let you know, well, okay, for this type of account, we're only opening at a minimum balance of $500.
And
And you may have had the $500, but you went and spent it on something else. And then when clients want to pay you, but they want to pay through an online facility, is
it can be
because
done.
exactly because you don't have a business account, and
Right.
then you shouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
it credited to your personal account. Now I'm
Count.
saying you
Yes.
should
Commingling. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. You see, and that is very important. Ironically, I had a passage where on money that I had just saved earlier today, and what it says was, without money, a business hasn't got much at all. Money may not be the motivating factor behind every single decision that a business makes,
Mhm.
but It has a huge place of importance in a business. And I will say add to this that managing the money in the business is also key. And like you rightfully said, you may get a piece of money and you can think of the different things you can do with it. But like you, I tell my clients reinvest. And you can reinvest in yourself as well. And some of the
Exactly.
things that I recommend in reinvest in yourself, take a course that may help you better
Your
your
skill
service,
set.
right?
Yes.
So that is something that I look at, I think very important in that in managing your money. So simply put, a business can't do anything and would not amount to much at all without money and
Hmm.
how it is you actually manage your money. So
Exactly.
it's very, very important what you're saying there. Now, you are using some terms and I am making notes here and I am loving microwave society. And when I'm thinking microwave society, I'm thinking 30 seconds, ding, done. And we on. Right? And that is what we do. We want to see fast returns. Okay,
Hmm.
so I sit down here and I put this ad out on Instagram. Why nobody messaging me? Why nobody calling me?
Hmm.
But there's work to be done, work
Yeah.
that needs to go behind the scenes. And as an entrepreneur, as an inspiring entrepreneur, you need to understand that whatever you are doing must come from a place of passion, must come from a place of purpose. If it
Hmm.
is you can't align your purpose and you're not passionate about it, you're basically going to do something that you're going to burn out eventually because you're not going to be enjoying and you're not going
Exactly.
to get the joy from it or see the joy in it,
Hmm.
right? So I tell my client, you must be able to align your purpose and your passion. And
Yeah.
that is where it will help you with success and patience. And
Yeah.
persons who know me will find it's very what I am talking about patience. I'm not very patient. But being a businesswoman for the past 17 years with ups and downs, failures and restarts, successes, restarting, I have learned to be patient in business. Well, business, I'm a 2 year old. Oh
Yes.
no, she's 3 now. So business, I'm a 3 year old, I've learned patience.
Yeah.
Everything outside of those realms, no, I'm still learning. But you need to have patience as an entrepreneur, aspiring business owner, because it is not going to be perfect. And like you rightfully said, in a utopic world, yes, start my business, get my first client, rich, boom. No, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. It's up, down. And then at point where you plateau. And then you're like, what am I going to do after this? Then you recharge and you go again. You come with a different spin on it,
Hmm.
right? And that is what you do until you find your niche. And
Yes.
you even made a point, person saying, why leave your 9 to 5 when it is you have this job and you're going to do this and a saturated market? You and I basically do the same thing, but from two different aspects.
Hmm.
So do I consider you a competitor? To an extent, yes, but it's enough for all of us. So why must
Exactly.
I exclude you from it because we may do something similar? And actually, on that point, guys, this week I launched my entrepreneurship packages, and Nikki Shop has agreed to actually work with me as one of the consultants. Be working with me on the packages regarding doing the business registration, business plans, and stuff. So go on to the Conflict Guru 868 Instagram and Facebook pages, look at these packages, sign up for it. You'll be working with us. Another thing Nikisha has agreed to today is do some giveaways. So Nikisha, do you want to talk about the giveaways for a bit?
Well, yes. The giveaways basically is where the first three persons to go and like, share, and follow will have a 30-minute free consultation with me.
Woo! Okay, so she's giving away free consultation, guys. So the first 3 persons to follow at the Conflict Gurus page
Yes.
on Instagram, or if it is you like our Instagram page, Nikisha, what is your Instagram page again? If you can just give the handle.
Well, yes, it's N Mirage Limited, right? So you can find me on Instagram, but most of my
It's LinkedIn.
engagement is on LinkedIn.
Right.
Yes.
So between the two of us, the Conflict Guru 868, Instagram, Facebook, follow, like. The first 3 persons will be getting a half an hour consultation with Nikisha. And I will throw in the first person to do it. I will also throw in a half an hour coaching session with you guys to help you figure out to get over that conflict, to get into entrepreneurship. So go, like, follow, join the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
right? So one of the main things I do for all my shows is that golden nugget of information. Now you have thrown out so many golden nuggets again. You had me busy writing in the corner here. What is that golden nugget of information you'd like to give our viewers and for persons who will watch later on today, wanting to get into entrepreneurship? They're already, but still haven't sorted, they found their way. What golden nugget of information you would like to share?
Well, this time around, I must say the golden nugget is do not let situations and circumstances hamper, distract, or derail you. Don't.
Fire. Okay, guys. Do not let situations and circumstances, what again, Nikisha?
Hamper, distract, or derail you.
Okay. I think that is self-explanatory. I think that is on point and is very conducive. It makes sense, especially what's going on right now in the world and our situations. So, guys, that was Nikisha's golden nugget. We will be seeing more of Nikisha because we will be working together in the soon future. Nikisha, look out for you're gonna have more of the content guru all up in your space. And it was a pleasure having you on the show this evening. It was a very enlightening
Thank you.
conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will chat. So take care, Nikisha.
You too. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye. Okay, guys, so that was Nikisha Mirage this afternoon with us, the TheConflictGuru868 Woman in Business Season 2, Episode 2. Nikisha really threw it out there, some information that is very applicable. So next week we'll be having Perry Webster, owner of Perry Plus. I look forward to having Perry on the show this next afternoon, next week. Okay, my 3-year-old is knocking. She realizes half an hour and she's fed up. She wants her mommy. So I will be saying good afternoon. It was a pleasure. Take care, everyone, and keep safe. Bye bye.